This week's Micro Monday workout is a special PPS or push-pull squat workout, but it's geared a little bit more towards improving your proficiency to get more out of all of your calisthenics training. And the reason why it does this is it focuses on this centerline principle, getting things as close in as you can, because when we move our hands and our feet closer to that center line, a lot of the hang-ups that are holding you back become very apparent. So first exercise, of course, is the narrow or close push-up. Your hands are close together and coming down and back up, down and back up. And if you don't have enough torquing, or if your shoulders aren't getting down and back, you got that winged scapula, you're gonna notice a lot of tenting going on, where your weight falls to the outside of your hands and you're kind of doing this. I'm exaggerating, of course, and instead you want to feel like you're screwing everything in so your hands remain flat during the push-up. For the pull chain, of course, you have narrow or super narrow grip, either rows or pull-ups, whichever exercise you feel you have a good degree of proficiency in. Because when we're testing exercises like this, you don't want to do the exercises that are kind of a struggle for you. So hands fairly close together, and feel free to adjust what feels narrow for you. Narrow is kind of relative. It doesn't have to be touching. It can be a couple inches apart. Elbows are in, shoulders are back. You should feel your lats engage right from the get-go. You don't even have to have full weight on your hands just yet. And coming up, elbows are in, super tight. Once again, you're waiting, or you're trying to see if you're kind of feeling this torquing motion where you're putting your weight on the outside of your hands. So you almost want to feel like you're weighting your pinky fingers a little bit more. And above all, avoiding this sort of posture and getting your chest up, shoulders back. And then for our squat, we have the narrow squat. So feet close together, no more than about an inch apart, and the knees are also close together, and we have our narrow squat. The big thing that people often do with this is their knees break out to the side, which isn't necessarily wrong, but again, we're trying to avoid this splatting effect. So you may feel like you're driving your knees ever so slightly inwards, and that's going to be quite telling as to where's your ankle mobility. Are you having any sort of twisting and shifting going on? Have your hands out in front for a little bit of stability. Where's your hip mobility as well? There's a lot of stuff that you're going to learn from doing these types of narrow-based, closed grip and foot exercises. I recommend keeping this workout fairly light. You can, of course, take these things to a high degree of muscular fatigue, and you can also even mix in like the isodynamic workouts, like having a minute per exercise where it's 15 seconds of movement, 15 seconds of isometric, 10 and 10, 5 and 5. But again, we're trying to improve proficiency and look for those little hang-ups that are holding you back. So keep the repetitions relatively low. Move at a smooth pace. You're not just trying to bang out repetitions on this. And I recommend somewhere around 8 to 10 reps at the most, circuit style. So just practice going from one to the other, one after the next. If you get a little bit fatigued, pay attention to see if any sort of other little hang-ups start to become more apparent, or take your time. You can modify these things as you wish. Practice as many rounds as you feel is necessary or is prudent to fit the time and the energy levels that you have there. I got more tips down below in the description. Let me know if you have questions in the comment section. Be fit and live free.